Welcome to the Mama Truth Show, where soulful mamas embrace the whole truth of the messiness and magic of motherhood. Check us out at mamatruthshow.com. Here's your host, Amy Ahlers, the Wake Up Call Coach.
Hello, mamas, and welcome to the Mama Truth Show. Happy Mama Truth Monday. It's Amy Ahlers here, and we are going to talk about something that is so important, and I know on everybody's minds and hearts, and that is stress. That's right, stress. And really how we as moms are dealing with stress and what we can do to deal better with stress, and also with our kiddos, what their experience is of stress and how we can start modeling better tools and better things so that our children can learn the lifelong skill that they need of being able to effectively manage stress, because as we all know, there's a lot of stress going on out there. So I brought on a very special guest who you are all going to flip over, because what she has done is unbelievable. Her name is Alisa Eisenberg, and she is the founder and creator of the Renew program, which you can check out at therenewprogram.net. And Alisa is a marriage and family therapist. She began her career in the hospital system, where she innovated therapy techniques to help deal with stress. In her private practice, she taught workshops on stress management, like, get this, you're gonna love this, sex, chocolate, and other creative solutions to stress. And she also worked on creativity and saw clients with health issues related to heart disease, diabetes, immune deficiency disorders, depression, anxiety, and aging issues. Hello, count me in, for both men and women. And she initially developed the Renew program to use with her clients, and subsequently she teamed up with the Re-Engineering Healthcare as Director of Behavioral Health to actually study and do a scientific study on the effectiveness and sustainability of this incredible program that she has. I am so excited and delighted that she's here with us today. So Alisa, welcome to the show, my dear. Hello.
Oh, thank you, Amy. That was a lovely introduction.
I was fumbling a little bit there. I think it's the kids are finally back in school. My youngest started preschool, so we're going to talk about stress, because all those things are stressful. So let's start, because I know that you know this. I remember reading once that the Centers for Disease Control say that 70% of all diseases stress related.
Yeah, in fact, they're calling them lifestyle diseases now.
Oh, interesting. What do they mean by that? Talk about that for a minute.
Well, we live our life, as I was telling you earlier,
yeah.
And over time, these habits and sort of our lifestyle choices add up and create conditions in our body. And of course, combined with the foods we're eating, and whether you're sedentary or not, how often you're running around. They're calling them lifestyle diseases, and they're counting in heart disease, diabetes, some new medical conditions called fatty liver and a fatty pancreas, and other things that they're seeing actually for the first time also in children. I know that's kind of gotten in the news lately.
Wow.
But, young people are starting to have these lifestyle conditions. So,
incredible.
And we know that stress plays an enormous factor. So that's kind of where I have focused my research and my attention, because it's something that we all suffer from, and we all can get better at. That's kind of the thing too. I really feel so strongly about looking at the positives. Where can we affect change? What can we get control over? And how can we just get better at living and be happier in our everyday? And it's possible. That's the great news in all of this.
I love that positivity, because it is, when you start looking at the statistics, it can become really stressful, ironically, to start looking at the statistics of what our kids are going through, what we're going through in living in such a fast-paced world. And I know all of you moms that are listening right now, I was saying to Alisa before we started recording, I feel like so many moms live in a stress response.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, oh crap, I forgot this field trip form for my child. And then you're trying to get to work, and then there's stress on a work project. And then your little one's not sleeping through the night, and you're up at 4 a.m. trying to deal with that. And it's just like, what are we to do, Alisa, as moms, to start helping ourselves bring our stress levels down?
Yeah, very important. And also those stress levels that we're modeling, you know, becomes the template for our kids, which is such a catch-22, because we're trying to raise these healthy, wonderful humans. And yet, you know, the responsibility of it can feel so big sometimes that it's self-defeating, you know, and that's, you know, and honestly, that's sort of the key to everything. You know, knowing the habits is one thing, knowing what's good, and then sort of discovering what your blocks are is really goes hand in hand, because a lot of people, well, I think maybe I can even generously say 100% of us,
yes,
on some areas we know what we should be doing, but we don't do it, you know.
Right.
And it becomes this sort of constant, like, wait, how do I get myself to do this? And so then beating yourself up becomes like the third piece of the puzzle, which is no bueno. And you have addressed that many, many, many times. So
yes, well, yeah, exactly. So there's like the things that we know we quote unquote should be doing: eating clean food, eating organic if we can, exercising, meditating, all of these things. And then we find ourselves not doing it, and then we beat ourselves up, and then that just leads to even more stress.
That's right.
You know, so in your work, because I know that with the Renew program and with the study that you just did, I just thought this was so fascinating that as you were preparing to do this study, they handed you a population of people that they knew were under chronic stress.
Yes.
And that was basically people that were firefighters, police officers, people that were in uniform. Is that right?
Absolutely right. And also their parents as well, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then also college administrators and professors, which is also a high stress population.
Interesting. So what do you feel like are the biggest things that you discovered from your study that really would be relevant for all of these moms that are listening right now?
Well, you know, as I said earlier, it's funny, you were asking me what's something you could teach parents to teach their kids. And it's really one thing that everyone needs to learn more about and really kind of dissect and tease out for themselves. And that's basically, your thoughts tell your body what to feel. And it's a simple statement, right?
Right.
But even as you're talking to your kids, it's something for all of us, because we have these perceptions that sort of flip in and out all the time. Even you walk in a room and you get an instant read, you know, and where does that instant read come from? You know, that's a whole topic unto itself, because there, you know, it could be what's actually in the room, but it could also be other things. You know, you're always looking for that safe, you know, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Particularly with police officers, with firefighters.
Right.
You know what? Teachers walk into a room and say the same thing. Right. Who are these little terrorists sitting?
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So, but that may serve you in one realm, but it really doesn't serve you in other realms when you're, you know, parenting and when you're trying to focus on what the task at hand is. And everybody has fires that are going on, you know, metaphorically, that they have to deal with, and you have to learn how to compartmentalize. So the trick really is to be at alert and have that focus. But when you combine that focus with a sense of calm, it really helps blood flow to the brain better, which helps you think on your feet. Because one of the biggest things that happens when we actually do have a stress response, where our blood is pumping faster, our heart's beating faster, our blood vessels constrict, and we do have a certain lack of oxygen that gets to the brain. It's why people, when they get angry, they get stuck on one topic and they can't get off it.
Yeah.
A negative thought loop that physiologically gets created. And it really does take about 15 minutes after an initial hit of a stressor for that adrenaline to clear. So
really? 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fascinating. I thought you were going to say 15 seconds.
No.
Oh my gosh. So it really, this is great. I love this. Everyone, really, I'm like the big highlighter out here because I think that's so important. Like as I'm dealing with my 2-year-old when she's having a fit, let me ask you about this because it just feels like for her, she can on a dime switch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, I guess I thought, oh, that's how 2-year-olds can do it. Like, then that's what our brains are capable of. Our bodies are capable of just all of a sudden switching, but it's just as adults, we've learned not to do that. Is that wrong?
Well, I think that for adults, we have bigger bodies.
Yes.
We have more entanglements.
Yes.
Particularly in here.
Yeah.
And I think kids are always learning, and they are a little bit more resilient.
Yes. Yeah. 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 They don't have all those neural pathways of years of the rage or whatever it is.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think kids are they're less trusting of what's going on inside than they are of outside too. It's sort of scary for them, because they have a perception, but they're not sure. They're always going to look to mom, or dad. Or moms or dads,
Exactly. Yes.
happening,
Yeah.
And so that's sort of you're the cue, you're
right. Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So
for us in general, it takes 15 minutes and I think that that's different too, because it's like for the adrenaline to completely clear versus for us to start feeling a little bit more blood flow going to our brain so that we can start to think again.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so you said something interesting because you said, that we have control over our thoughts, or that our thoughts are the things. And this is, such the foundation of Inner Mean Girl Reform School and my books and all of that, right? That our thoughts is what creates the emotion in our body. It creates the actual physiological response in our body.
Yeah.
And so if we can become more masterful at our thoughts and not hang on to a thought that comes, by like a cloud in the sky that we hook into that's negative, but instead hook onto the ones that are more positive, we can create amazing change in our lives.
And knowing how to pivot those thoughts. Because the how-to is something that really has always fascinated me, because people say these things all the time, be more positive.
Right.
Don't say mean things to yourself, which you have a good how-to.
Right.
But the how-to is what really that's why I created the Renew program, because I really wanted a how-to guide to be a healthy, long living person. There are these studies, I based the book, and the subsequent study was based on some previous amazing and gold standard studies.
Yeah.
And one of them was the centenarian study, where people live to be 100, healthy. So they're with it, they're thinking clearly, they have healthy bodies, and they're 100 years old. How did that happen?
Wow.
And importantly, can I do that?
Right. Yes, please sign me up. Yeah.
They did these studies, and they looked at what the qualities are, and they really got down to coping skills and these positive outlooks, optimism, resilience, cognitive hardiness. They broke it out. And then they discovered that you can actually learn how to do these things. They're actually coping skills that can be taught. And so I took all of these different studies, this was one of them, and really synthesized it and put it into a how-to. How to be better at stress. And that's our module 1. But of course, we deal with that over the entire time I work with people. So how to be good at stress can start with, from birth. And as soon as kids are kind of thinking, it becomes really important to help them know which thoughts to pay attention to. Because for the large part, we invent our thought. These thoughts come in and out, like you say, and they're not always true.
Right.
They're not always true. Sometimes they're just based on what we're afraid might possibly happen.
Right.
I was telling you a story. I had a really sweet conversation with my 10-year-old nephew the day after his first day, because I called him to in and see how he did and how his class was. And he said, well, actually, I don't know. I was so tired at school. And I said, oh, what was going on? And he said, well, I didn't sleep at all the night before. I just couldn't sleep. And I said, what was happening? And he said, well, I was just thinking all night long.
Right.
what were you thinking? And he said, oh, I just worried. I didn't know, would anybody like me? Would I know anybody? Was my teacher nice? You know.
Yeah.
I said, well, what, did any of that come true? And he said, no. And I said, well, gosh, I wonder if you had said the positive stories to yourself. If you had wondered, I wonder if I'm going to have a great teacher. I wonder if I'm going to have a class filled with all my friends. I wonder if I'm going to love where my desk is this year.
Yeah.
You know, you could just as easily said those things.
Right.
He said, huh, I guess so. You know? Because, you know, I love your story about the 2-year-old and like changing on a dime. That's the great thing about the little ones. You know, you get another perspective, and it's the first time they're hearing it. So there's not as much resistance to it, you know?
Right.
Oh, I guess I could have done that, you know? And so we got off the phone, and he was kind of excited because he, you know, I could tell he was going to try it, you know, and I said, give it a try, get back to me. Let me know if it works. It helps me.
Yes.
You know, the same thing sometimes. I get nervous at night too. Oh my gosh. I woke up in the middle of the night one time like 5 times because I was thinking, but I just kept switching around what I was thinking. Wait a minute. Actually, I'm kind of excited that I'm starting a new job tomorrow. Or I'm kind of excited that my son has a field trip. I wonder if it's going to be great. You know, and actually, the truth of the matter was my son went to go study in China because he's older.
Wow.
And, you know, the night before his trip, I did have a lot of thoughts come up.
I'm sure you did.
You know, a million miles away. And I was really practicing what I preach of, I wonder if he's going to have a fantastic adventure. And I can really see a lot of amazing people around him, you know, so he's going to be cared for and safe and well. And it made me feel better. And I got some sleep. And you know what? At the end of his year abroad in Beijing, all these wonderful things happened, you know, and you know what? A couple of challenges came up too.
Yeah.
And I don't know for a fact, but I think because I was in a pretty calm place about it, when the crises came up, I didn't go down the tubes. I was able to sort of think quick, you know, well, who do I know? Oh yeah, I know this person who knew someone in Beijing. Ooh, I wonder if I could get a hold of them. And you know, instantly, when I needed it, I got a network quickly. And you know, as a mom, how it goes. Because moms are moms worldwide, and it really does take like a minute to get a phone tree going.
Right, exactly.
Kids have to be healthy and safe. Period. End of story.
Yeah, well, and what I love that you're saying is, I wonder if he's going to, like, I love that there's something really powerful about the way that you were just framing that. When we as moms, whether it's about our children or it's about our job or our relationship or our marriage or our money or whatever it is, it's like, I wonder if it's all going to just work out financially. Like, I wonder if we could work things out in our marriage, or I wonder if my child's going to have an amazing first day of preschool. Like, I love that. I wonder if. I think this is just such a brilliant tool. All of you listening, like, check this out, because it's not like forcing a positive thought. It's like evoking within you the possibility that things could be okay. And I just think that that's so important, because so often we try to put these positive spins, and it's like, you know, that expression, like, you know, putting frosting on a poop sandwich. And, you know, I'm thinking, oh, it's fine now. But it's like, no, like, what if we just go into the place of possibility, and that then all of a sudden our imagination comes into play, and then we can start imagining. And I love that. So is that part of like one of the tools that you give your clients and in your study, is like evoking that imagination response?
Absolutely. Creativity is the foundation of who we are as human beings.
Yeah.
And that creativity is what gives us our solutions. So, you know, it's the difference between shutting down solutions and creating the possibility for solutions.
Yeah.
So start dwelling on, my marriage stinks.
Right.
I hate this guy. What was I thinking? Right. That definitely closes down.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, you know, I wonder if we can make things better. I loved how I felt when I felt in love. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could create that again. Like,
Mm.
I wonder if we could have that for 5 minutes.
Right.
All of a sudden you start, gee, I wonder if we like went to the movies every once in a while, if something nice would happen, you know?
Yeah.
What if we got a sitter on Saturday night? You know,
Yeah.
you start kind of getting your how-tos from opening the possibilities, you know, and it's really about concrete action steps. But in order to even be able to think of those, you know, you have to kind of take a breath. You know, you have to be more in that relaxation response rather than the stress response. Stress response shuts everything down. Relaxation response, which is the opposite, opens everything up. And that's really taking those deep breaths, you know, just having a minute to just relax the muscles in your body. And, you know, it's not necessarily even following every thread of a thought that comes through. Sometimes it becomes really important to let them go, to know that I'll get to that. Yes, I know that's there, but right now I need 3 minutes to just take a deep breath and remember why I like my life. You know?
I love it. Well, it was funny. I was this morning fixing the girls' lunch and you know, the breakfast and the lunch and the morning routine. And I mean, like the tension in my body, you would have thought I was like preparing for World War III going on in the kitchen. You know, I was like, and all of a sudden I was like, what is happening right now? Like in my mind, my thoughts had totally gotten away from me. We call it, you know, under inner mean girl attack. It was like, literally the thought that going through my head was like, I fucking hate this. I hate the morning routine. Sorry, mamas. I hope you don't have your kids in the room. But I have to drop the F-bomb because that was what was going on in my mind. It was like, oh my God, I hate this part of school being back. And all of a sudden I was like, wait, like one of the things that will help me is just saying like, what are the facts here? Like, what are the facts? Oh yeah. Both my kids are super happy. They're healthy. They're sitting at the table eating breakfast. The facts are that I look at the clock. I'm not running late. Thank God. And I was like, let me just take a breath. Like we're doing fine. Like we're going to make it through. And it was like immediately I could start getting myself back into that relaxation response, taking some breaths, looking at the time, being like, actually we have more than enough time. I even had time to get gas in the car. Like when I got in the car, I was like, oh no, I need to get gas. I'm like, I have time to get gas. Everything is fine. You know, but it's like that story, that meaning that we can place when we're in those moments of stress, whether it's something really small, like, you know, lunches and breakfasts, which I feel like so many of moms can probably relate to, or something big is going on, like someone you love is dying, or, you know, there's an illness that's happening in the family, these big stressors, like regardless of the magnitude, our bodies, like getting us back into that relaxation response is key, no matter how big it is. Yes? Is that?
And when you're talking about lifestyle, yes.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about every morning. The morning routine is a really important thing because it's every day, you know?
Yeah.
And so how you manage that is going to go up and down. That's just a normal thing to even understand that, you know what, you may have been running late that day. And you know what, your kid may have been late to school that day.
Right.
And it's okay, Amy.
Are you sure, Alisa?
2 things to remember. You're not taking your kid late to school every day in their pajamas with no brushed teeth. That's not happening every day.
Yeah.
If you don't give your kids enough, you know, hitches in the giddy up, if you don't give them enough little things to help create a good, well-rounded neurotic child,
Yes.
it will be boring. It will be boring. And that creative spirit comes out of some of those little neurotic things that go on. And it's okay. You know what? Nobody's perfect. Nobody, you know, it shouldn't even be the goal. So the morning is, you know, a great place to begin to talk to yourself. And even a model to your kids, you know, wow, I was feeling really excited because I was feeling nervous making your lunch. So what I'm saying to myself is, if I take a deep breath and know that if I put peanut butter on this side and jelly on this side and put it together, it actually takes like 4 seconds.
Right.
Everything's okay. Gosh, do you ever go through that in school? Like when you have a test coming, or, you know, depending on the age of the child.
Sure.
Right? What do you say to yourself when you have a test? How do you deal with that? You know? It's a great conversation to know how your child is talking to themselves. What do they say to themselves? And be curious about it. And, well, I wonder if you said to yourself, I can do this. I know this. I talked to mom last night about how to spell orange, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Upwards. You'll make yourself feel better. And that's the other connection. I started this by saying your thoughts tell your body how to feel. Yeah. That's a great thing to introduce to your kids to know, how when you laugh, you feel kind of excited and happy and you feel really good all over. And you know how when you're really worried about something, sometimes you get a tummy ache? That's because what you say to yourself makes your body feel different things. And so here's how that happens, and here's how to change how you feel too. And laughter can be such a great tool for kids to really viscerally teach them how to change what they're feeling, and kind of in the moment and outside the moment, to just start the conversation. Never force the conversation, but hey, did you ever notice, when, you're feeling really, really sad, and then it can come around to a day where they don't want to go to school and they have a tummy ache and they don't feel good, and it's very, mystery illnesses.
Yes.
Well, I wonder what's going on. What are you thinking about today?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about today?
Yeah.
And talking about that can really help introduce this and change the conversation and give them real tools to use even that day in school when they're worried because, somebody's being mean to them.
Right.
So to help them understand, maybe that kid's having a hard day. Maybe that kid's being mean because, they're having a hard time.
Right.
And some insight. Who knows? But, it sort of introduces all these new pathways to really help your child deal with themselves, help them deal with others, and help them kind of manage. School is a stressful place. It's a petri dish of learning.
Yes, it is.
Many things going on. It's not just what's happening on the board and with the teacher. There's a lot to learn in a very small environment. So these conversations become a great thing. And even after school, what did you learn today?
Yeah. I don't know.
What did you do today? I don't know. So, what were you thinking about today? What was a great moment today? What was a really hard moment? What were you thinking in that moment? How would you feel? How are you feeling in that moment? All that stuff can help make those links, as long as you don't stay there too long, because,
Right.
Know your audience.
Yes, exactly. Right. I love this. And I'd love for you, I just think this is so powerful for all of us that are listening. Like all of us as moms start having that conversation with ourselves, noticing how we are talking to ourselves, modeling that for our children, reminding our children of what's going on. And when they're feeling a negative emotion, like, what are you saying to yourself? How are you talking to yourself? What are you thinking about? I mean, this is just revolutionary stuff for children and for us. It really changes everything, because this relationship we have with ourselves, I always say it's the only relationship is going to be there from the moment you are your first breath to your last breath is your relationship with yourself. And so as we start really utilizing tools like this, I just know it's life-changing. It has been for me, for sure.
And you know what, Amy? You would be absolutely shocked to know how many big strapping police officers and women and men, and how many firefighters, and how, who are true heroes, right? How many of them I have a conversation like this with? Would you talk to yourself like you talk to your 2-year-old?
Right.
Would you say, God, you're so stupid, you can't tie your shoes? You would never say that. And yet we're so generous and liberal with calling ourselves idiots all the time.
I know, right? It's
and teaching adults, to talk to yourself like you would a 2-year-old is a revolution, And it's true. So in order to really teach this to your kids, you got to practice what you preach and catch yourself, because everybody kind of does it, and you don't have to admit it to anybody. You don't have to even talk to anybody about it, but just, you yourself and you, when you're in the kitchen making those sandwiches, what are you saying to yourself? And can't laugh it off. Oh my God, there's that again.
Yes. Wow. Yes, totally. Oh my gosh.
And so you really actually begin to reroute your neural pathways too by There's all this brain science that's the most exciting field. Oh, coming back from this conference in Boston where I was, privy to all this brand new research. And it's so exciting. And it's all really aimed to help to better the human condition. Everybody's looking to be happier, to get the day a little easier. And as we increase our levels of happiness and learn these silly little tools, they're just silly little tools. But they work and they're great. And from those little things that really add up, you now have a lifetime that's longer. You're actually affecting your DNA to lengthen and be healthier. And you're creating children that may have a shot of having less depression, less anxiety, less heart disease, and less diabetes, and all these things that are all linked together with stress response and inflammation and food. And, they're all each individual topics, but the stress is the main thing that causes that biochemical condition in our bodies for all these other things to take root. So, for my money, it's like number one. It's the place to start,
I love that. Well, and I'd love for you to tell our listeners here as we begin to wrap up about the Renew program. Again, the URL is therenewprogram.net, therenewprogram.net. And I'm going to put that in the show notes as well. And I know that you offer a free consultation in case anyone is interested. Will you tell people a little bit about the program?
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
So it's basically, we work in 3 phases with people. I mean, the main goal is to get you to the next level of health, right? So you don't know what you don't know. We all live our life, we do our thing, right? And at the end of the day, over time, it begins to show in our body. So people have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or, their doctor tells them, you better be careful, you're at risk for heart disease or diabetes or all of these things. And it's like nobody intended for that to happen. Right. So what we do is we kind of look at a fine-tooth comb. What's your body telling you? Yeah. What feedback are you getting? And now we go and work in 3 phases with people. So you don't know what you don't know. So we want to find out what that is. So first, our phase is evaluation. I have some online surveys, and we look for your strengths and your weaknesses and your coping skills. We want to really find, where your knowledge base is. Phase 2 is training. So we have 9 hour-long webcam sessions, which people love because everybody's busy. Nobody has time to drive and all that stuff. So I can see people, all the time for wherever they are. And we work together, and I have a book, which is behind me, a workbook, a DVD, and a state-of-the-art biofeedback unit that we use for training. And all of these things add up to measured results. So I'm looking at lowering people's blood pressures and teaching them how to manage that. Wow. We have a lot of disease reversal. That's what I was going and speaking at this large conference, an international conference in Boston on. We have shown reversing heart disease, reversing diabetes. I'm so excited about this. And also lowering depression and anxiety measurably. These type A behavior traits. I've taught people how to deal with them. We are who we are, but it's learning how to talk to yourself, learning how to deal with yourself, how to manage better. So all of these pieces of the program teach people how to manage their life better, how to increase their levels of happiness, but as a side benefit, they're losing weight, they're managing things better, their diseases are going away, these lifestyle conditions are under control, no more fatty liver, no fatty pancreas, all that stuff. So it's been so exciting and so heartwarming to excuse me, I got choked up. Just to really help these people manage and be happier in their life. And when you're happy in your life, everything's better. You're a better parent. You're a better, wife. You're a better, teacher. You're a better everything.
Everything.
And you teach. So that's the other thing that we discovered that was one of these unintended benefits from the study. It creates something called the halo effect. When one person in a family has done our study, let's say, they teach it to everybody else in the family, and the family gets better. And then they start sharing it with their friends, and their friends get better, and the community. And it's, one person at a time. I mean, we think about that, right? And people have said to me, don't you want to, have this out to the world and work with big groups and la, 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 la.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? I love working individually with each person because one person radiates out. We have no idea the impact we make. So as you work on your habits, as you practice what you preach, you are teaching everyone. You just have no idea who you're reaching. So I love
Oh my gosh, I love that. So again, you can go to the renewprogram.net and there's a phone number right there. You can give Alisa a call, set up a free consultation, see if the Renew program might be a right fit. Tell her you heard her on the Mama Truth Show. And I think the program that you're doing is awesome. I love that you have taken all of these things for me as a life coach that I've known for such a long time and actually done a research study. I mean, this is just breakthrough, groundbreaking stuff for so many people out there that I know are doing this level of work with people, but haven't been able to actually scientifically prove it.
Yeah.
So I thank you, Alisa, for being a pioneer and going out there and actually doing a study, because I know it takes a tremendous amount of work to do a study. And I'm so grateful that you did that for not only yourself and for all of your clients, but for everyone, so that we can really understand and have this be grounded in the science.
Yes, absolutely.
So powerful for everyone. Yeah.
Aww.
Awesome. Okay, so one final question for you before we go. I know we're a little bit over time, but the final question, this is something I ask all of the Mama Truth Show experts and guests that come on, and that is, what's messy and what's magical about motherhood for you these days? I know your son's older, so share with everyone a little bit about your son and what's messy. Yeah.
Because I just had this long conversation with my son last night, who is 27 years old, and thinking about graduate school.
Wow.
And thinking about kind of changing paths at this early, or as he thinks, I'm getting older, the messy and magical conversation that we just had last night is, I don't have the answers for him.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I love hearing what you're thinking about. I think it's so interesting. I hear the pros, I hear the cons. This makes sense, that makes sense. I wonder more about this as if it's really true. I can be a sounding board. I can be a trusted advisor in a certain way. But the bottom line is, as I said to him last night, my darling, you are the author of your life, and it's all going to be all right. Once you choose what you want to do, it's great. You're going to get the feedback right away. Pay attention. You're either on the right path or you need to make a left or a right turn.
Yeah.
All good. It's all good.
Yeah.
So messy, difficult. I want the answer. I want to be able to tell them, I need you. I think you should enroll in this school.
Right.
When you grow up, you'll make this much money. You'll do this. You'll have this. You'll take me on a great vacation. But really, the reality is I don't know. I wish the best and the brightest for him, and I'm here for anything. But the most I can really do is listen and be supportive and help him be positive in his thinking.
Yeah.
So it's messy and it's magical.
It is.
It does.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alisa, for being on the Mama Truth Show. So many golden nuggets. And as always, mamas, we love hearing from you. So feel free to hop on over to our Facebook group, Mama Truth Circle Facebook group, and let us know the golden nuggets you receive from the show. And I am sending you all so much love. Keep embracing the messiness and the magic of motherhood. With that, it's Amy Ahlers signing off. Bye-bye, mamas.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, mamas. Did you know that Amy has a new ebook out? It's called Sacred Self-Care for Moms, 7 Steps to Nurturing Yourself so you can be the mom you were born to be. And you can receive your free copy by going to sacredselfcarebook.com. That's sacredselfcarebook.com. And please don't keep the Mama Truth Show a secret. The biggest compliment you can give is to share the Mama Truth Show with your loved ones and write a review on iTunes. Until next time, keep embracing the messiness and the magic of motherhood.